My show every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific on ucy.tv/TAMR.
We are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised.
Billions of people just living out their lives, oblivious. Choice is an illusion created between those with power and those without.
I drink your milkshake. I drink it up.
Thank you, John Larson. I receive your kind words on behalf of all of our courageous members of the House of Representatives who want the best for the American people. And what we can do that is best for them in the next 24 hours is to pass affordable, accessible health care for all Americans. The best for all Americans is to have 32 million more people to have health insurance in our country. The best for...
Piece of stinking filth.
Shh, you're sitting in shop. This is AJ of the InfoWars. Listen to the Shaliak. This is Alex Jones of InfoWars. Listen to Shaliak on the Cold Reality News and Report.
This is the coolest thing I have ever seen.
Well, hello there.
Cold Reality Radio starts now.
All right, welcome to Cold Reality Radio here on the UCY.TV Broadcasting Network. I am the Shali Lama. I will be with you for the next 3 hours. Again, Sunday, October 20th, if I have not given you the date. Anyway, it's been a rough week. Shali Lama's been sick all week, but he's raring to go. So the government shutdown, or 17% of the government that was shut down, is back in line, and everything is going good until the next deadline, sometime in January or something like that. All right, Hillary is back on the campaign trail, out there supporting some jackass named Terry McAuliffe. And pretty much all about her. So we'll be seeing and hearing more from this globalist puppet who they definitely want to see in the White House, because she will follow all the orders. She will follow all the orders. All right, so assassination pushes Libya towards civil war after 2 years. and after the death of Gaddafi. So everywhere we go, everywhere NATO and all these so-called peacekeepers go, there continues to be death. There continues to be desolation, and that's the ultimate goal, right? I mean, there's nothing that they do that is permanent. Just nothing that they do will lead to permanent peace. Nothing. It's all about death and destruction, and America is right in the mix. And this is not about love, happiness, and love and fuzzy feeling. This is about pure utter destruction around the world, and unfortunately, that's just sad, really. Trust in government nears record low, but people just still continue to do whatever they do every day, and I'm doing good. Actually, it was last Sunday that after my program, I kind of took a little llama nap, and then I woke up and I was coughing and my throat felt a little weird, and then kind of progressed. I made it to work every day. Maybe that's why yesterday I felt like such a, it's just this mental thing. When you know that you got to go to work, I think you prepare yourself to do it, even if you have a cold and you're not doing so good. And then when Saturday rolls around and you don't have to do anything, then you start feeling the effects of like, how did I do this all week? Or is this a result of working all week? And what was I going to do? Take time off? And got 2 more weeks of vacation this year. I'm going to use one in the coming month, and then one in the month after that. So I didn't want to, plus it always looks good, when you go to work. And, I had a long conversation with my boss on Friday, and he said, "Oh, it sounds like you're coming down with something." I said, "I've been sick all week." "Oh, really? Well, I'll give you a raise." Not. "I'll give you a raise for that." Not. There's no raises. You got to work your deal in the beginning. Excuse me. All right, got my coffee, and I'm still coughing a little bit, so it's just going to be a mess. It's just going to be a mess is what it's going to be. Okay, going to be joined by Jordan at some point today. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to be joined by my friend Carl. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Wait.
I want to be baptized. I need to ask you for a favor. I want to come back and stay in here.
All right, well, you're welcome to hang out, Carl. I mean, it's Cold Reality Radio here in the man cave. It's not much of a cave, but this is what we got here. As I said, Cold Reality Radio here Sunday morning from 11 a.m. on the Eastern Time to 2. I was attacked by someone who has not had the I'm going to read it too, because that's how I roll. I'm going to read it too. So let's see what we got. And of course and this doesn't even fit what my description would be. Jim from Evolve Society says, "It is patently obvious that you are delusional, set on maintaining strife and division between all people of differing beliefs and perspectives. There are no solutions or actual attempts to solve any problems we face here on our little ball of mud, to be found in hours of drivel offered on your feed." The name of this site is Evolve Society, not continue down the same old right-left hate speech, make war, and stick our heads in the sand nonsense. Okay? So, if you're out there, Jim, call in. Let's see. I'll give you the number. You can call in and you can tell me about my drivel. I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna get the number for you so that you can call in. 718-717-8296. Again, that's 718-717-8296. Imagine that you just listened to a small segment of the program and then drew a conclusion that was, might have been relevant to the part of the program that I was talking about. But I am, no, I am not a left person. I am not a right person. I do not subscribe to the gangs that run this country. So you're pretty much wrong about that. And pretty much a lot of your stuff. Some of it's drivel, I'll tell you, because I'm just trying to be funny. I'm just trying to do things that make people laugh, make people think about, just make people think about things. I'm just trying to do my part, I never said that I was some kind of master, super knowledgeable guy, right? And if you would listen some more and maybe listen to UCY.tv, you'd find out that there, indeed are other people on this network that just are much better than me. This is just my time. This is my slot. There are a lot other people out there that you can connect with. This really is about, I think there's a lot of people that are on and listen to this network and are in the chat room that are about evolving society from where it is now into something better. But we have to talk about the things. I'm going to get angry at the right. I'm going to get angry at the left. I'm going to say things back and forth. But the bottom line here is that I'm speaking my mind for the amount of time that we have left to be able to do so. Because that window is closing and it's becoming clearer and clearer that is happening. All right, so Jim, give me a shout out there, buddy. Love to hear from you. If you think you can do it better than me, there might be a slot for you on the network. All right. Dick Cheney feared assassination by heart device hack. We should be so lucky. Body next frontier in cyber crimes. It goes on and on. We've got NSA hacked Mexican president's email. Make sure that he's falling in line with his servitude. Outage disrupts East Coast internet traffic. They are planning a major event. Drills, if you will. The drills. And it's going to be a power down drill, and most likely the food stamps are going to go off again, and then the dependent class that the liberals love to create will in fact do exactly what they're supposed to do, which is set this bitch on fire. And what else we have here? Obama meets with bloggers he urged public not to pay attention to. Okay, he doesn't want you to listen to anything other than the mainstream media because they're pretty much his only friends. He wants you to listen to Rachel Maddow and how she lies back and forth, how she disgraced the veterans by lying about them. And then lied that the police that were there were not getting paid, which was another fabrication. It's just awful people. You can only imagine that they turn them on when it's time for them to go on television, send out tweets from them when they're actually powered down and in their sarcophagus during the day, and then they come out and they do their show, and just unbelievable. Unbelievable how that making comments that that they were there because there's a black family in the White House. I mean, well, I think that she could probably, this is it. I mean, you have to, this is just the fomenting of hate. This is the fomenting of unrest by the media, by MSNBC. I guess it's Microsoft, right? NBC is now pretty much taking over Comcast, Comcast, Xfinity is what it's morphed into. So you no longer have Comcast Internet, you have Xfinity Internet. All overpriced, all set to pretty much spy on you and your families. I have a different internet service that uses the TiVo. Or the TiVo, man. And it's not bad, but, it runs out. It runs out of programming, and then if you're not plugged into the internet, you go in there and you hit your menu, and there's no programming. So you got to go in there and click the button and get your programming for the next 2.5 weeks. God forbid that, it should hold, that it should hold a certain amount of data in there. And then, of course, I think we've all run into this where we have a DVR where it's only got so much space to, hold our programs. How about, maybe putting a bigger drive or a bigger storage space in there? No, that's for later when we can charge you more. Or we can charge you more to store more of your programs. Which of mine, a few movies here and there, some South Park, some It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you haven't picked up on that, that is a pretty funny show. It's a little degenerate, but as long as you put things in perspective, you can have a really good time, hanging out with, Dee and Frank and, Dennis. So I'm not saying it's good programming, but it makes me laugh. I want to laugh. I guess that's what makes me such drivel, huh, Jim? I'm drivel. And I'm fomenting left-right hate. So he hasn't even responded. I guess I kind of sent him an email, but I don't know that it's going to be in here. Maybe it is. No, I don't think it's going to be in here. The Legacy Inbox. Now, but this site was created by David DeGraw, and he's not an operative, which I don't think he is, but you never know. There's a lot of money out there that's being spent to do things. But David DeGraw has been involved in a lot of this stuff, Occupy Wall Street. And so he's kind of gotten his name out there. I think or Max Kaiser interviewed him at one point just because his name got out there, out there long enough to be noticed as a man of peace and common sense, which isn't so common anymore. We know that. Chase this week started controlling its wire transfers. In is good, out not so good. And of course the other banks have kind of fallen into place. Chase members received a letter saying that this is indeed was the fact that there would be, you can do this, you can do that. You know, you can't do this with your own money. You can't do that with your own money. And much like the Larry Sanders memo, they didn't want to do like one bank doing this, doing that. So they went and made sure that they had a meeting so that all the big banks across the board that ultimately are controlled by the Fed and then ultimately controlled by European interests, IMF, Rothschild, the scum, they made sure that it was uniform across the board so that nobody could get away with, oh, I'll just go over here or I'll just go over there. No, you're not allowed to do that. What you're allowed to do is be ripped off by the filth and degeneracy that has benefited in a major way from our ignorance, our supreme ignorance over the years, and of course the ignorance of our mothers and fathers, and our, you know, is pretty much put us in the situation that we're in today. And at this point, I don't really see that there's much. There's really a way out of it. I think that we are in a tailspin, so it doesn't matter whether we, at this point, if they stop spending, they continue to spend, it's still gonna, the system is still going to, the system is still going to collapse. Now, what level is that going to be? What level of collapse are we talking about here? What level? And, well, that doesn't make any sense. I can't seem to, maybe this one will do it. Maybe there you go. What level of collapse is that going to be? What is it going to look like? Well, it's certainly going to be a turn off of the EBT cards. That's exactly what we're going to see. We're going to see a turn off of that. And, you know, we're going to see the poor go crazy. Just, I guess it was like 3 or 4 hours of the cards being down in certain states. We saw just a low to mid-level uprising. Just, you know, let's go a day, 2, 3, 4 with that. And then we see what can happen from that length of time. Hope that's not the case, but I mean, we know what we're dealing with here. We've seen enough of it. We know how the mainstream media lies and has covered up for the banking institutions, and they will continue to do so. And they can do whatever they want. The news is pretty much the thing. If somehow we could actually get a network that would report real stuff, real events, because the Chase changing the rules this week didn't make the top headlines because they don't want you to know. And as I said, it's mostly it's mostly just totally dominated by lying media, by the liars. And what would it take? I mean, how much, I guess, how much money would need to be spent to be able to create a network, a media network that could contend with ABC, NBC, or CBS to be able to put out real information. A lot. And that this whole system was designed the way it was, for them to control the money and for they to put that money into areas that would strengthen their conspiratorial run for global conquest. And then there's people, they'll sit there and they'll talk about all this stuff. I had lunch with several people on Friday, and they're talking about the shows, Scandal, this one, that one, and they're like all, oh my God, they're all into all the characters. These are good people. These are nice people. Okay. I don't want to cut on them, but they know more about this bullshit story than they know Wayne Madsen's report this week that says Obama's family pretty much all CIA. And when I said that, they're like, oh, I don't believe that. Oh, that's just no. And that's what we're dealing with here. I mean, why wouldn't it be? How hard is it to believe that? I mean, most people look at the CIA and say, oh, they're our intelligence agency. They're here to keep us safe. So why wouldn't they have intelligence over a so-called family? I mean, the Bush family, pretty much all CIA for the most part. But not the black guy. No, not the black guy or the Jewish guy or the mulatto guy. Not him. Couldn't be. Could not be. Not possible. So anyway, Texas gun owners stage rally at the Alamo. This was the top story in the upper, Hillary's beastly face was on, on the main story, but up in the left-hand corner, we've got, and still there, Texas gun owners stage rally at Alamo. Armed protest ends quietly. I do believe Jones Corporation was involved in that as well. Gun rights advocates gather out in San Antonio, Texas, Saturday to demonstrate in support of a Texas law that permits the open carry of long arms such as rifles and shotguns. And this was, who wrote this bad boy? Oh, hey, all right. Hundreds of gun rights activists, many toting rifles and shotguns, gathered early Saturday at the Alamo in San Antonio to rally in support of gun ownership and the right to bear arms. The rally, called Come and Take It San Antonio, comes in response to what organizers called San Antonio Police's disregard for Texas law and the Constitution. Organizers said the police department has harassed gun owners and created a hostile environment for legal gun owners. I don't know that they even mentioned Jones in here. See, the rally launched with remarks from organizers. We aren't here to start a war today, one said, according to the newspaper. We are here to show that an armed society is a polite society. Open Carry Texas President C.J. Shivers told the crowd that he wanted to hold the event in San Antonio because of a confrontation between police and gun right advocates a couple months ago, according to the Associated Press. So there was no, again, the local police chief said he'll allow this just one time. His initial take on it was that going to arrest. And then he realized, I don't know that I can do that because, there's going to be a lot of people there. See, that's the key. You got 1 or 2 or 3 people, you can see them. You got a crowd of people bigger than they can handle, then they let you do what you want within reason. And then if it got too out of hand, they just call the military in. Get the peasants and put them in their proper place. All right, so is this the first of many? I hope so. I really do. So they did not mention anything about Jones Corporation. So yeah, you wouldn't think AP would give any press to Jones. Again, I mentioned Hillary's out there doing her beastly thing, going to run for president. Let's listen to Bill Clinton here say that politics is not theology.
Politics is not theology. It's work. And the framers of the Constitution gave us a system that was supposed to produce honorable compromise after honest debate. Because nobody's got the whole truth. Nobody's right all the time. And the more complex problems are, the more you need people to work together.
Right. Politics is not theology. In Clinton's case, he is, it's puppetry. You should just call it puppetry because that's what he is. He is a banker puppet. And most of the things that the media said that he did and gave him kudos and all his so-called accomplishments, much like Reagan. An HBO documentary pointed that out about Reagan, that all the things, not all, but a good portion of the things that Reagan had supposedly done, he did not do. It's just a way of bumping up and giving, reason to give the seat of the presidency more power. NDAA, all this other stuff. It's just been a slow progression that you would imagine. Here's Chelsea Clinton. She won't roll out a bid for office either.
Now I live in a city and a state and a country where I support my representatives at every level. So if at any point in time that stopped being true, where I had a question about their ethics or their competencies, and I thought that I could make a disproportionately positive contribution in the political arena in the same way that I feel very grateful that I can do now through the foundation, I'd have to ask and answer that. I am so grateful that the people I support are my political leaders. But in the future, I don't know.
Okay, that was Chelsea Clinton. And then that was her, before that, Bill Clinton, not her biological father. Some feel pretty positive that she is not a product of Bill Clinton's vile seed. All right. So, as I said, we Hillary out there doing her thing. She's going to start going out there and empowering women, which is not a bad thing. Let me explain. When Hillary Clinton goes out there and empowers women, it's to destroy the family. It's to destroy the family. Pretty darn sure. Let's see here. Oh man, what is going on with my mouse? Yeah, I don't know whether I got to clean this Mac up or what, but it's just been, and I don't know whether it's part of the. There's my Y. and an E, and an S. That's taking forever to type in. So maybe someone's taking over my machine. I don't know. Maybe I got to go strictly Linux. I don't know, but I've been having an incredible amount of spinning wheels and just overall, I can't even respond to. Yes, please. I would like the phones. I'm going with that you may not get this, my message. Yeah, it's, wow. I don't know whether I had to clean it up or whether a hard drive's gone bad because it's come in and I just typed it in. It took forever to get there you go. Thanks, Skype. Thanks, you vile bastards. See that you've taken Skype and turned it into an absolute joke. Microsoft. Garbage. Phil. Degeneracy. IBM. Microsoft, basically IBM. Okay, so let's go back and see if we can. All right, so Hillary, vile beast, run and destroying the family with every ounce of her being. I want to be like Hillary when I grow up. Meh. Senator Cruz returns to Texas. Welcome after shutdown battle. 8-minute standing ovation. Well, I guess you can say that, he did what he could. Unless he's another one of these, crisis actors. So, who knows? Let's go into the trust in government nears record low, but most federal agencies are viewed favorably. 62% have view of federal workers. Well, when you're on the government dole, hey, let's hear a little bit of this. Well, I can't play that. Excuse me. All right. So, public trust in government, already quite low, has edged even lower in a survey conducted just before October 16th. And the government shutdown and raised the debt ceiling, which doesn't raise our debt, by the way. Just in case you were taking notes. Just 19% say that they trust the government in Washington to do what is right just about always or most of the time. Down 7 points since January. The current measure matches the level reached in August of 2011 following the last battle over the debt ceiling. So that's the Pew Research. Pew. How low will it get before the people say, let's scratch this thing and start over again? How bad will it get, man, before they say, let's scrap this biatch? All right, let me go back through here. I wanted to point out that, there's a new secretary, Jet Johnson, former Pentagon official. Another order follower, I imagine. The Washington Post reported this week. And again, confirmed Chase Bank drops the hammer on capital controls. No money allowed to transfer out of the USA starting November 17th. Chase employees admit orders from top to limit cash for unknown reasons. Obamacare website violates licensing agreement for copyrighted software. That's from the Weekly Standard. The Daily Caller says there's no actual debt ceiling A Chinese agency downgrades U.S. credit rating. Polar Express is leaving the station. Expect a major cold air outbreak for most of the U.S. late Thursday. I'm sure it's probably going to be colder up in upstate New York there. Obama, right? Obama to tap ex-Pentagon official. He tapped him. Hey, join Satan? Certainly. Let's do this. Air pollution causes cancer. The World Health Organization, rewind. World Health Organization agency concludes. And of course, from CRN, called Reality News, another attack on CO2, no doubt. No addressing of chemtrails whatsoever. Let's look at this. Air pollution causes cancer. WHO agency concludes. Oh, really? And just within the last couple of years, cell phones cause brain tumors. But 10 years ago or 5 years ago, no conclusive evidence. There's no conclusive of brain tumors or air pollution causing cancer. See, as we get closer and closer to doomsday, we're getting more and more true information. And this should kind of, verify. Pardon me. For the first time, a World Health Organization agency has classified air pollution in its entirety as cancer-causing and a higher risk than passive smoking. London, what many commuters looking on smog have long suspected has finally been scientifically validated. Ooh, it's been validated by a scientist. Air pollution causes lung cancer. Can you believe? I mean, absolute. How stupid did they think that the people of the world are? I know they think Americans are stupid. An international agency for research on cancer that air pollution is a carcinogen, alongside known dangers such as asbestos, tobacco, and ultraviolet radiation. All right. Okay. All right, man. The decision came after a consultation by an expert panel. An expert panel. Oh, it gets me chills up my leg. An expert panel organized by IARC, the agency of the World Health Organization, which is based in Lyon, France. Wood fires and diesel cars pose pollution threat. The related article there. Quote, we consider this to be the most environmental carcinogen, more so than passive smoking, said Kurt Strafe, head of the IARC department that evaluates cancer-causing substances. IARC has previously deemed some of the component pollution, such as diesel fumes, to be carcinogens. No doubt. You ever get behind a diesel truck? But this is the first time it has classified air pollution in its entirety as causing cancer. The risk to the individual is low, but Strafe said the main source of pollution are widespread, including transportation, power plants, and industrial and agricultural emissions. All right, so less. What they're basically saying, transportation. Okay, so everybody's gonna walk. Power plants, let's shut them down. Let's go post-industrial, scorched earth policy, right? quote, these are difficult things for the individual to avoid, Strafe said, observing the worrying nearby factories that he could see from his office window in Lyon. No addressing of the chemtrailing, the geoengineering, none of that. When I walk on the street where there's heavy pollution from diesel exhaust, I try to go a bit further, he said, and you can do. Another related article, air pollution cuts lifespans in northern China. Sure, they don't give a shit about their people. The fact that nearly everyone on the planet is exposed to outdoor pollution could prompt governments and other controls on spewing fumes. Okay, so we're talking the attack on CO2. This is just a basic, let's just add this to the mix. Add this on. All right. Strafe noted that the World Health reviewing their recommended limits on air pollution. Okay. Previously, the pollution has been found to boost the chances of heart and respiratory diseases, but now it's a cancer causer. All right, so we got that. Know that there's ways to, well, as I said before, what they're doing now is all that they were pretty locked in about, cell phones, and now pollution. This is just the attack on CO2 to give, the UN and some of these other jackasses the go ahead to continue, create the post-industrial society, which will crush pretty much everything in sight. Your paycheck, everything. You won't be able to, carbon taxes. Control the carbon. You use it up? Well, sorry. And you don't get no more television this week because you used up all of your carbon credits, man. I'm sorry. Al Gore, our company, is trying to, and if you used up your credits, then you can't watch, Dancing with the Stars tonight. Sorry. All right. So, more and more, we find, this is actually on, MSN News. That study ties BPA, bisphenol A, to possible miscarriage risk.
5 gum. Choose your experience. Choose your flavor.
I'm going to mute you, man. I'm going to play this clip here. The study found a possible link. There's the possible link between BPA and miscarriage risk in women.
There's new evidence BPA could pose a hazard for some pregnant women. A small study found high levels of bisphenol A may raise a woman's risk of miscarriage if she's already prone to fertility.
Linking BPA to miscarriage.
Researchers at Stanford and 2 other universities analyzed blood from 115 newly pregnant women with a history of miscarriage or infertility. Women with the highest levels of BPA had an 80% greater chance of miscarriage than those with the lowest level. 68 of the women in the did not.
I think all women should take note of this result who are contemplating pregnancy or who have just learned that they're pregnant.
BPA is a chemical commonly found in plastics, canned food linings, some cosmetics, even store receipts. It may affect hormones in the body. BPA was recently removed from containers. The FDA says it's safe in most other food containers.
I'm not sure one can completely avoid exposure to BPA.
But you can minimize exposure by avoiding products with BPA and not heating food in plastic, which causes the chemical to leach. Researchers caution the study was small and other miscarriages. Cindy Sharp, Associated Press.
All right, so you have that there. This is more of a disinformation piece than it really is actual. This is going to play again, isn't
it? New Jersey's top.
So, as I said, it's more of a disinformation piece because we know that this stuff is more deadly than is being said. And I did where they were probably talking about this week as well. But yeah, this stuff has been. I mean, it's known. You put something be used. Anything could be used inside the lining of these juice cans or something, you know. But, you know, plastics have been used for a long time. And, you know, this is just part of our society, our design society, where, I mean, look at the American Dental Association, putting mercury in your mouth. Ridiculous. Fluoride for years, because we've been indoctrinated with the lies of, oh, it's good for your teeth, you know. The vanity that goes along with, teeth health and, you know, strong teeth. People have just bought into it. And, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to people that if you tell them, and I've said, I've sent pictures to people of bags of fluoride that have written just horrific. It's something that you would look at and say, I'm staying away from this. Where when people are at these water treatment facilities, with the fluoride into the water, they have to wear masks because they don't want any of the particulates getting into their respiratory tract. Now, this is not a major source of concern for people. It just shows that you know, we've been destroyed. We've been cut down. We've been chopped down to size. And they revel in their ignorance. Like I said before, it's a badge of honor to sit there and be ignorant about something and not care. Like it's cool to be a stupid fucking jackass. I don't know how a society is going to evolve from that, but let's hope. Right, Jim? You're out there, Mr. Drivel, the drivel specialist. Let's hear from you. Maybe I should post another one in there. Hopefully we'll maybe hear from him, and he can enlighten us on what good radio is. How you doing, Carl?
I kind of want something other to eat.
Really? I don't have any food here, man.
Reckon you can make me some biscuits.
I don't have any biscuits, man.
Reckon what you like to eat in there?
I don't know. I don't know. Some coffee, maybe. I don't know. Not much in there, man. Not much in there, Carl. What do you like?
French fried potatoes?
Oh yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I like them baked though. I don't like them.
I like them French fried potatoes.
I know, you just said that. What do you like to put on them?
Mustard's good on them to me.
Oh yeah?
How much you want for them?
I'm not selling any. I don't have any. I said I don't have any food. How often do you eat biscuits?
4 times a week. Mm.
Oh yeah, really? That's good stuff. What else do you like to eat?
I could use me another 6 or 8 cans of that potted meat. You got any extra?
I told you I don't have any food, you moron. Come on.
I got some of that potted meat and soda crackers left over if you want some.
Nah, it's okay. I got my cold coffee right here. Hold on. That's awful. Yeah, I got Carl just hanging out. Let's see. Let's take a call. Let's see what we got here.
If you don't put me on the phone with somebody who can fucking help me, God damn it, no! No! No!
I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to calm down before you get... Who do you want to speak with?
God damn it, no! No!
I don't like your attitude, sir.
I need to be transferred to Michelle.
Michelle doesn't work here.
If there's no Michelle, then you people are going to get sued. Not to mention, I might go ballistic and come over there with a machine gun. I don't have one, but I'll go try to acquire one.
Well, now you're just taking this to an extreme level, sir. I'm sorry. This is UCY.TV Broadcasting Network. This is not, Michelle doesn't work here.
I've been on the phone since 6 o'clock my time. That's 3.5 hours.
I'm sorry that you were on hold that long. I'm gonna have to hang up on you, sir. Goodbye, sir.
And if you're going to transfer me there and have it put me back into the main system or the tech department, that is fucked up.
All right, I'm going to put you on hold, all right?
You can't put me on hold. I have spent large parts of the last 3 hours on hold. Can you not tell? Can you not tell I have no patience left? Can you not tell that I'm getting fucked over by either your phone system or the people that are putting me into it? Can you not tell that? And you're insisting on putting me on hold or getting a supervisor that's going to tell me the same thing you are?
I'm sorry, sir. You must have voted for Obama and tried to sign up for health care this week. Anyway. Sorry you're having such a bad day. All right. Have a good day. Try back later. All right. So anyway, as I was saying, you've got so many carcinogens in the all I needed to know is that they were dumping rat poison in the water supply. I mean, that's pretty much all I needed to know. That's it. Didn't take much more than that. And then, like David Icke says, you connect the dots. Connect the dots, man. And so, we have more stories here. Forget your meds, statin drugs found to cause memory impairment. And that's what I found out from people after talking to them, after talking to family members. Their memory has, which was once good. Who's calling? Oh, it's Vince. Hey. All right, hold on a second. I'm going to have to play My Skype is totally cracking up on me. I don't know. Okay, are you there? My Skype is totally spin wheeling here, man. Let me see if I can. Yeah, it's totally doing the spin wheel. I'll see if I can pull you in, man. Failing. So again, we've got carcinogen after carcinogen in there. And then, of course, if you take a statin drug for high cholesterol and suffer from frequent forgetfulness or amnesia, you could be a victim of statin-induced memory impairment. New research published in the Open Access Journal One reveals that Pravastatin or Pravachol, a common statin drug used to reduce levels of low-density lipoprotein, cholesterol in the blood, impairs cognitive ability and memory recognition. That's sweet. It's a sweet thing. But this is pretty much... Oh, that's my phone going off now. I'm going to have to see if I can see if this will work now. It's just not working for me. I got Vince calling, but it's just crushing my, I can't even pick up. So anyway, I'm still spin wheeling. I don't even know what I do. If I have to reboot or something, it's going to take me down. So I'm just really crippled in Skype. I can't like 10 seconds or 25 seconds to be able to respond to Jules. So I'm just really, the fact that you can still hear me out there it's a blessing. Can you still hear me? Let me see. My Skype is a total jackass. Oh, now it's over. Now it moves, and then I click on it, and oh man. Okay, but you can still hear me out there? I'm going to try to pull you in as soon as this thing kind of clears. Oh, my adverbs. You shall get your adverbs here. Yeah, I'm just total spin wheel here. All right, so, let's see. All right, so the statin drug, a book out called Lipitor, Thief of Memory. Now, this was a number of years ago, showing that we are being crushed about, pretty much lies. Lies about cholesterol foremost. And anybody you know, I mean, I have a coworker. Who at 32 or 33 is on statin drugs. And I'm seeing it. I see what's happening. I see what's going on. But you can't say that to anybody. I've got someone that I work directly for. I second one damn near cut red head right in the half, man. Carl. So, this guy on meds and has had a mini stroke, a pulmonary embolism, and everybody just continues to trust in the doctor. So what my coworker did is he trusted that was he needed to go get a physical or something. The doctor looked at his cholesterol and said, you need to get on statins. And he's taking it, and no matter what I say, it's just not gonna, he's not statins. And they're destroying his memory, and they could be, it depletes other critical, like coenzyme Q10. It does all these nasty things in there. And two of these women that work for the company that I work for, both of their husband drugs, and they basically died of some kind of a neurodegenerative disease, Parkinson's, Lou Gehrig's type situation. And, it's it's sad because we pay attention to these doctors. Well, that's just a massively awesome soundtrack. That's bad. Anyway. So he's on these, golly knows how long he's got to stay on them. We know that they cholesterol. We know that lowering your cholesterol is and can be pretty damaging, because the cholesterol is there because the reason why the LDL is elevated is because it's trying to repair things in the body. It's trying to repair, say if you've got inflammation in the heart valve, in the heart area. They're different from the veins. The arteries differ from the veins. So you've got acid, which is acidosis, which comes from not the right amount of calcium, magnesium, and things in the body. You are minerally deficient, and it's going to, these things are going to happen. And then of course the LDL and the HDL. And then of course, if you're unlucky enough, you trust your doctor and you trust your doctor, and then he puts you on one of these deadly drugs, and nobody wants to believe. I mean, we look at society, your doctor, then you must be awesome. You must be one of the smartest people on the planet. No, not the case. Not the case. We're dealing with people here that, oh man, everything I click on friggin' goes spin wheel. Well, let's see what we got here. Is there not? Oh. So I don't even know what's going to happen, but I'm already seeing the signs of this memory, cognitive, just breakdown. And what are we going to do? What can you do? You can just warn people. If they're not going to take your advice, then basically going to sit there and watch somebody that somebody that you work with, just totally degenerate, dematerialize, and eventually die from these deadly statin drugs. One family of drugs that is totally deadly. Let's see what we got here. Still trying to get my Still trying to get my Skype to. It's just still spin wheel. I don't even know what it is. Let me see if I can. I don't see anything in my list here where it shows that that things are not responding, but maybe that did it. Oh God, there's nothing more aggravating than this. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of the list there. The new internet. The new internet. So, researchers from the University of Bristol in the UK tested the effects of both pravastatin and atorvastatin, Lipitor, on mice over the course of 18 days, evaluating their collective ability to learn simple tasks and remember how to find food rewards. At the end of the 18 days, mice were allowed a 1-week withdrawal period to come down off the drugs, followed by testing designed to quantify their ability to recognize previously encountered objects. When they evaluated the final data, the research team noted that pravastatin impaired the mice's overall learning capacity during the final days of treatment, a symptom that was fully reversed after the mice were taken off the drug. But as far as object recognition memory, mice taking pravastatin experienced lasting negative impairment. And so, that's uncool, man. Oh, man. All right, so what I'm going to try to do here is, part of me wants to not mess with what's going on here. And the other part of me wants to be able to, pull Vince in and be able to pull in Jordan when he is available to chat about things. So I'm going to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't want to have any dead air. Maybe we can, I don't know. It's a mess. Skype is a mess, and it's going to affect the rest of my program. Let's see what we got. I'm going to try to disconnect and come back in. All right. So there he is. Well, the thing is I'm playing from this side. I might have to call in. So let me just do a quick reset here. Give me like 30 seconds. 30 seconds. I don't know how long it's going to take for me to get disconnected here. I just clicked on it. This side. Yeah, it's just a mess there. All right. See if I can get it on this side here. Let me. Hey, can you hear me out there? I'm dialed in from another phone. Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me out there? Hey, can you hear me? Hold on. Can you hear me? It's just totally trashed here, man. Can you hear me at all? I'm Okay, you can hear me? Someone type, yes, we can hear you. All right, so let's see here. All right, so I'm on my laptop here. I'm going to get back over here and see if I can sign in. Let's see what we got. Just moving right along here. I'm sick and tired of my Mac. I don't think I would ever have said that, but I'm sick of my Mac and I want to punch it in its Apple face. All right, so let me disconnect from here and try to reconnect from my from the Mac here. I'll be right with you. Okay, all right. I'm back on the main system. I'm back on the main system now. Back on the main system now. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can put the bins here. Hey.
Okay. Hold on, I'm getting my earphones on.
Okay. We got Vince. We're back on. Let's see if Adam can get out of this here. Click that. All right. Yeah, we got snow falling on the chat room screen. That's nice.
Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can hear you too, sir. How are you today?
I'm great. This guy has been bugging me to death that he wants to talk to you. He says you keep hanging up on him. Here, I'll hand on the mic. Go ahead, then.
Hey, Poogie boy. Put Michelle on the line right now, okay?
Yeah, I was messing around with some soundboards this morning, and I just found something. I like to be serious sometimes, but then I also like to make people laugh. I hope I'm being effective.
You do a great job, man. I love your show.
Thanks. I appreciate it. So what's happening? What's going on in Vince's world?
Coffee and the wake and bake, the whole two pieces together.
The wake and bake.
I made breakfast earlier and warmed it up in here. I'm still building my rocket stove. Got that to finish. I got to put the tanks over the top and get it cut down. But it's going to be so intricate. I've still got a few little tweaks to make to it. I'm gonna allow for a oil drip onto it also, which will also that port will function to for a backup in case of loss of power. It'll you can like hand pump an inner tube and it'll blow through there. So until you get your riser hot and you get your draw going, I believe it's going to be a little smoker. It's a real small little dude. It's a 4-inch square tubing with 4-inch pipe also, and then it breaks down to a 3-inch riser. So with it being smaller than my chamber there, I figure I might have a little problem with draw, but I'll have a port also to put the exhaust from a shop vac. Mm-hmm. Once it gets hot, it'll take off and roar. Everybody thinks that it ain't going to produce any heat, and I'm trying to tell them it's not the fire that the continual fire that you're getting heat from, or you're not trying to build up coals. You're heating your mass, which is like a battery that is going to release the heat instead of electricity.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Yeah, having fun with it.
So
I love living out here in the country.
Okay, so you're an inventor, I guess, right now, or you'd like to
tweak things? Yeah, I don't know if I've ever had an original idea. I think I have, but just kind of. I think we all kind of just build off what we already have, as far as knowledge and stuff. So, just an evolution of thought, really.
Crawdad wants me to play this cartoon, so let me play it real fast. See what it's. Oh, this is long. I'll wait till he's on. So it's like an 8-minute clip. I thought it was going to be something short. So Cowboys Eagles today.
I'm going with America's team.
Okay, all right. I'll be honest with you. I couldn't care less what would happen. What will happen? I mean, I'll probably be checking it out at some point.
I won't even watch it.
But I'll probably tune in to see what's going on, and then but it's always interesting with the Cowboys Eagles. But again, I mean, I've moved so far away from sports. I don't think I've even seen. I don't think I've even seen one more than maybe 15 or 20 minutes of a Flyers game, and I'm a pretty big hockey fan above all other sports, and I haven't even watched that. And also at the same time, they're not doing really well at all. They fired their coach, the whole deal. It's just a microcosm of what's going on in the world. People are losing, people get.
There's nothing wrong with watching sports or watching Dancing with the Stars or anything like that. We all need to be entertained too. You can watch a TV show, watch a movie. Any of that stuff doesn't make you a sheeple. So, we need that balance in our lives, just,
like I said, I was having lunch with 4 other people, and they were talking about this show Scandal, and they were getting all into it, and they were like, "Oh, I love this, and I love that, and I love this," and I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just trying to bite my tongue, and just to say, this is, I said, you don't think that these things that you're seeing, they're talking about all kinds of corruption, this politician being blackmailed, and his wife's having an affair with this one, that one. I said, you don't think these things really happen? I said, this is real stuff. And I said, in most cases, when a politician is being blackmailed, it's so that he'll vote for or vote against, vote against a good bill and vote for an awful bill.
I think even the best, the most, upright, the good-hearted that's gone into politics, I think even the best of them, eventually they're targeted to get some dirt on them. They're corrupted, and then they're in their pocket. I don't think there's an honest politician in the world.
Yeah, it's sad. It's just money. It's the money. It's how they control the money. If they didn't have the ability to reward, these politicians for doing what they're asked to do, then they wouldn't, then they just wouldn't be able to, like, what am I going to get out of this? And like, we can hook you up with, we'll pay you. Oh, okay. It really is the root of, like they say, it's the root of all evil.
The love of money.
a love of money, the root of all evil, and you know that doesn't, you know, that it's not, it shouldn't be surprising, but you know it can be, it's definitely not the root of happiness. It's what's done with it, but what has grinded your gears this week, man?
Well, just kind of been this and that. I kind of Thursday I did an open mic where I could take the week off before that without any heavy research. So next week we got Rocky coming back on in the first hour to do more on metaphysics. Some people aren't interested in that sort of thing, but I find it very interesting to find your balance in your your energy field, to kind of seek to be one. So
yeah,
I guess that may not make sense to some, but to others it does. And
I don't count out anything. It's the people that are not even rooted in any way that can't listen to, you know what I mean? It's just that, yeah, I feel these people that, I don't know, I guess, can you say that they just lack any kind of spiritual balance or connectiveness to anything, that they just sit there and they can't even lock into anything that's outside their scope of what they're able to believe or think about or contemplate. It's we got Jordan DeYoung on the line too. He's gonna be with us for hopefully the remainder of the program today. When of course we got Vince from What Matters. Was that right? What Matters Worldwide?
Yeah, it's kind of addendum there, the worldwide, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So good morning, good morning, Vince. Good morning, Jordan.
How are you?
Good
shot so far.
Good morning, Jordan.
Thank you, sir. I was communicating with Jordan last night, and he was sending me some videos, and that video of you and your family in the car, man, I thought that was a riot.
Yeah.
That was just so much fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, back at the time, they're like, my mom's always saying, we could be a TV program. I'm like, shut up.
How long ago was that?
It's 5 years ago.
Okay, because you had quite a bit more hair than I've seen you have.
I'm getting back to that real quick.
Oh, what, for the winter? You're
yeah.
Okay. All right.
It was the same deal back then. It was the winter. That was the coldest the Keys have ever been when we were down there.
Oh, you were down in Florida.
Yeah.
Okay. So the four of you flew down there and decided to just kind of, do your thing?
Yeah, it's our favorite wine. We want to go to Florida.
So a little breakdown. They're traveling and they're in the car, and Jordan's sister has to use, she has to go, use a restroom, and she's just miserable. And and your brother is in the front seat, and he's taking a video. He's taking like an iPhone or an Android video that eventually was uploaded to YouTube. So it was pretty funny. And Jordan's like, "Hey, Paige, you want something to drink?" That was fun. It was fun to see that the family unit traveling and torturing each other at the same time. And your mom, she didn't say very much, but she was just, it was one of those, one of those basic, like the equivalent of, if I've got to stop this car,
right,
you're all going to be in trouble. So
she was really pissed there.
Right.
I mean, that's not acting.
Right. So I'm glad my Skype is functioning. It was. I mean, the only thing that it was doing is that it was keeping the connection. Anything else? I mean, Vince tried to call in. I'm sitting there and I'm trying to add him to the call, and it's just spin wheel. So I figured I had to. So I got the backup computer here, so I'll make sure that in the future if that happens, I'll be able to maintain some kind of balance. I'll start this up and then maybe play a tune so we don't have any dead air. So sorry for the dead air out there. All right, so. As I said, Vince, what's grinded your gears this week? Did you cover any of the stories this week? Anything about the shut? I call it the shut up. it's not the shutdown anymore. It's the shut up.
I called it the shakedown.
And of course, it was that as well.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody realized that it was the same old, and I think they should have stayed shut down a little bit longer.
Sure. Jordan, what was your take on it?
Oh, the 17 statewide shutdown of the EBT card.
Well, that too. That was just a double down. It was like, okay, we're in this shutdown, which is only basically 70% of the government not working.
Right.
And then let's go out and make it look worse than it is by shutting down these memorials. And then on top of that, have a little EBT, welfare shutdown and see, it's just all testing the waters. We know they've got control.
It saves them a ton of money. Like if they are so crazy that they think they have to have a budget, and they're like, well, look, if we just shut this EBT card down, you can save, $14 quintillion.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some ridiculous amount from one day being shut down, but it would be a lot. I mean,
so just it being down for the time that it was, you're saying that the government saved money?
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
I mean, maybe some senator didn't have to, eat on food stamps himself.
Right. At, $175,000 base salary a year.
Well, yeah, and then lobbyists and that.
It's got to be hard to eat on that kind of.
Did you see Jimmy's clip that he got of Thomas Drake, the associate engineer at Pulse Technologies, asking a congressman, why don't you file to impeach Obama? And he tells him how to impeach Obama.
No, I mean, you want to post that? Well,
yeah,
play it right now.
Yeah.
So if you can pop that into the chat room and we'll check it out. Yeah, I just there's these are just all litmus tests. We know that. I mean, you've got Boehner, who is, he's compromised. He's the speaker, right? Is he the minority speaker of the House? I would imagine.
I just know he's a boner.
Yeah, he's the minority speaker or the majority speaker of the House, I guess. And once you get to that level, you've already shown that you've already been compromised by the system, because they won't put you in. Look at Pelosi. Look at all the damage that that wretched wench caused. I'm sorry, I get so pissed off at, just these sellouts. I mean, she is an absolute sellout. And, and then I get this, as I said, I get this guy, Jim, who says that I'm just, fomenting left-right hate or something like that, which is not even the case. But yeah, he gets the standing ovation because he fought the good fight for the time that he did, and but we just see Obama having the final say, and then he gets up there and then he starts talking about amnesty and all this other stuff, and that's the thing. I mean, I sit with people and I hear people talk all the time, and what they talk about is completely irrelevant to anything important. And I get discouraged every day just listening to people have conversations about, television shows or sports or something like that. Like I'm in Barnes and Noble, and I'm sitting there. I've got my iPad and I'm looking around, and I went there to get Ron Paul's his book about education, and I'm just sitting there, and this one guy comes in, and he's like, got an Eagles this on. He's just kind of a mess, and he's reading a book about sports. And I'm just thinking to myself, God, you are a creation of, you just look at these people and you can see how they're a creation of the system.
Yeah.
You see white people, you see black people, and you can just tell by the way that they handle themselves and how they move through the system, how they talk, what they buy, the places that they go.
I just want to play some football, man.
Yeah. It's just like, they're just such a part of the system. And, as I said, when Obama came in, you knew right away that this guy was gonna be, elected the president no matter what. Now, Jordan, is this the video right here?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, let me pop that on there.
The audio.
Anything to say before it or what?
Yeah, the audio levels are really crazy in it. Like, he gets a lot of applause for the questions that he asks, but the applause is, it's so loud. If you're listening to the questions, the applause will blow your eardrums out.
All right, so the audio. What's that, Vince?
Sorry, I interrupted that. Bill he wants to say it puts the ball in the basket.
Puts the ball in the right. So we got, why haven't a constituent, like Jordan said, constituent asked Burgess, why haven't you impeached Obama? So let's get it started. It's all close to 7 minutes. So, turn up your computer and give a listen. It's going to be a quick break, but it'll be interesting to listen to.
Yes, sir. Hi, Congressman. I'm a college student just months away from getting my undergraduate degree. Congratulations. I, like almost everyone here, am deeply concerned about the dysfunctional mess inexcusable. Deeply concerned about the mess and dysfunction of this government, especially this administration, is leaving for my generation, my children's generation, and probably their kids' generation as well. Both times this president took his oath of office, he swore, quote, to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Clearly, he has not done so. He's broken his oath of office. President Obama has committed dozens of impeachable offenses, ranging from illegally having an American population under surveillance and even circumventing congressional authority. Now, you, Congressman Burgess, you have also sworn, and I quote, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States from all enemies, foreign and domestic, and to faithfully discharge the duties of the office. In my hand, I have a list of the offenses President Obama has committed for you or anyone else to see. Will you leave that with me? Yes, I will. Thank you. You have also publicly stated your opinion on impeachment, stating, and I'll quote, things need to be tied up. The longer we allow things to continue, damage to continue unchecked, the worse things are going to be for us. I agree. Now, there are two ways in which to file for impeachment. One is by offering your resolution to the House. The other is by submitting your bill of impeachment to the House Judiciary Committee. My question to you, Congressman, is why aren't you doing your job, and why haven't you impeached the President yet?
Well, for you, if you're old enough to remember the impeachment of William Jefferson Clinton. And the House of Representatives did, through the Judiciary Committee, produce the articles of impeachment, and it passed the House of Representatives. Never went anywhere in the Senate. The Senate environment today is less friendly for that motion than it was in 1998. Yeah, we tie things up, but tie everything up. at the House of Representatives. And I would just ask you to what end. The articles of impeachment will be filed. I don't know whether they were passed or not, but even if they did, is conviction going to happen in the Senate? Without conviction, removal from office going to occur? So to what end are you asking for that to happen?
I'm asking what it's going to take for you to file for impeachment.
So I'll be happy to look at your list. To date, I have not seen the issue that would require that. I was hopeful that you and I and enough of our fellow citizens would recognize the dire problem that existed and fix it 6 months ago. And that did not happen. And as a consequence, I live with the will of the people who under the Constitution voted for their commander-in-chief.
Okay, but you're saying that you haven't seen evidence to support your reasons for impeachment.
All we have to look at your list.
I agree. From the Democrats charge, it never was.
Okay.
I agree with something. Because the budget every year.
So it becomes a legislative equivalent of standing your feet and holding your breath.
Okay. How many constituents is it going to take to call your office, write your letters, and demand that you file for impeachment?
I don't know the answer.
Maybe ask.
We need to do it. Vote. Yes, Congress should be Democratic or anything besides Democratic. And get them out of there, and you will have two out of the House and the Senate, and you can have something to work with.
See, I'm not allowed to be political, so I thank you for your observation. That's very kind of you. I'll be happy to receive your list, and I'll if you read contact information, you can get that.
Definitely will. But all it takes is one elected official to file for impeachment, to get into the Judiciary Committee, to vote.
Yeah, you saw what happened when Dennis Kucinich did that against George W. Bush 2 or 3 Congresses ago. You saw what happened when I think it was even John Conyers, who was the ranking member on the Judiciary Committee, and that was when Bush was president. I didn't think that was a very good idea. But even as hostile as the Democratic House of Representatives came to be towards George Bush after they took the majority, that's not something that they did. Look, if you don't have, and if you're going to end up in a place where all you've done is achieved passage of the articles of impeachment, either in committee or on the House floor, but nothing changes, you spend an enormous amount of time. Right now, I think our efforts are better spent defunding the Affordable Care Act, as people pointed out here tonight, doing some sensible things with the budget, protecting our military spending, but at the same time, ratcheting down overall spending. I mean, those are the things that can be done. The deficit was $1.3 trillion 2 years ago. The $606 billion today hardly a cause for celebration, but certainly a move in the right direction. If we allow ourselves to become distracted, we may lose the ground we've already achieved. I'm happy to receive your list and look at it.
And the young man gives Burgess the papers, and he probably wipes his hind end with them. Oh, has anybody got any TP? Oh, no, I'm going to have to use this paper that young man gave me. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I mean, very positive, such a young guy, probably, 25, 26, something like that.
Oh, he was a plant. I mean, he was graduating, so I mean, he got to talk to the House of Representatives or House of Representing guy,
right?
And then he was planted with these questions to ask, which are pertinent questions, and it just shows that not only is the president corrupt, but your precious little elected official that you might have met and shook hands with. The representative is also a scumbag.
Well,
and then, where does it end?
As as you get into these districts and congressmen and things like that, they're really just there for window dressing. I mean, the Congress kind of did their job with. They did their job a couple weeks ago, and then the Senate just overrided it. They overrode the I forget exactly what it was. Was it in regards to Obamacare?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, the Congress did their job and they got it through, and then up to the Senate to do something else, and they voted, liberal cowards that they were.
Well, that's why we need 3, legislative, judicial, and we always need someone to screw us over. So if one side, is for us, the other 2 sides could be against us.
Exactly.
Remember when Oracle went off the air, the song that kept playing over and over and over again? That reminds me of government.
Everything's broken.
The whole damn thing is broken.
Yeah, that's whenever we were having technical difficulties, it was, I woke up at least once or twice on a Sunday morning, and I get in there and I'm listening to just kind of listening before my program, and then I heard that and I knew something was up. So, yep. And you know what? Is it broken? There's some things that were designed for, flawed from the very beginning, so we can't really say that that something happened that it got broken. But I mean,
good point, because it was really designed that way.
Exactly. And so we've got government that was designed back in the day, and they've used it against us. And how? Just the ability of them to pay off a politician too. And of course you have the fear factor.
Well, making it like a democracy and not a republic, that did everything right there kind of too. Because then you get totally uneducated masses that they can just keep on pumping in and feed with whatever, little tidbit of information that they won't look beyond. And then, they can pass whatever legislation they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people I've talked to that want Obamacare. They're just complete idiots.
Yeah, they've been sold. They've been sold a bill of goods, and they want to believe it.
Yeah, like this guy kills children, but he wants you healthy.
Right. But you know what Carl says?
You ought not talk that way. You know better than that. You ought not say that word. You ought not say that word.
Yeah, I hear you. Carl. So, all right. So let's delve deeper. Could Hillary actually become the big president after this jackass does his damage?
Yeah, it used to be like the tallest person got to be president. Now it's the person with the biggest cankles.
Right. It's a cankle. It's a cankle supremacy.
Cankle conspiracy.
What do we got here? We got, as I said, trust in government nears record low. Sebelius to attend a gala, but unable to testify about Obamacare. Let's see what we got here. Let's listen to the lovely, I forget what her name is. Let's give a listen.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Erin Burnett out front tonight. We have some breaking news. An official from the Department of Health and Human Services confirming to CNN that the glitch-filled Obamacare website will be coming down this weekend for maintenance. Now, this comes on the same day that new problems with the rollout were exposed, and an official from the Health and Human Services Department, the Secretary Kathleen Sebelius, will not be available to answer questions at a congressional hearing next week on what went wrong. Although I can tell you at this moment, we have just found out that Health and Human Services Secretary, I'm looking here at my BlackBerry, actually has the time to appear at the inaugural Kennedy Forum Gala the night before in Boston. So she'll be in Boston at a gala, but unable to testify on the Obamacare rollout in Washington the next day.
Yeah, man. She is, she's a beast, man. She's a beast.
She screwed over Walmart. I mean, if you look at the bottom line, everyone loaded up their shopping carts because they were going to get, free food. Walmart was going to credit them. And then, it came back online and everyone abandoned their carts. So they cost Walmart, even if it's a few $1,000s, Walmart is going to go for their throat.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Here's a clip, Obama admin taking down, just like Erin Burnett just said, for maintenance. Let's hear
Good evening, I'm Ann Curry in for Brian tonight, and we begin with breaking news. There is late word that the rocky rollout for the president's new health care law has gotten rockier. For the second time in 2 weeks, the new health care insurance website that has frustrated so many people is coming down for forcing millions to wait longer to enroll in a plan. NBC's Tom Costello has been reporting on the glitches with the new program, and he now joins us from our Washington bureau. Tom, good evening.
Hi, Ann. Good evening. And NBC News is also learning that the government is not going to be rolling out the Spanish enrollment tool of HealthGov on Monday or next week. It was initially expected to be rolling out sometime next week. HHS is telling us that at the moment, there is no expected rollout date. Now, the White House says native Spanish speakers can still enroll in the Affordable Care Act over the phone and in person. And they can access information, Cuidado de Salud, where they will ultimately be able to enroll online, ultimately. Separately now, the English version language of healthcare.gov is being taken down again over the weekend between the hours of 1 and 5 a.m. so technical experts can try to work on the problems with the system. All of the Republican members of Congress plan to begin hearings this coming week into the problems with the Affordable Care Act website that have made it very difficult for millions of Americans to go online and shop for insurance. And health insurance companies tell NBC News they, too, have seen massive technical glitches and received only a handful of applications. Most of them were riddled with errors. Ann?
All right, NBC's Tom Costello, thank you so much for your work on this breaking story. Also,
we have illiterate computer programmers. That's what I think is going on.
Hey, Carl, you're eligible for Obamacare. What do you think?
No, key.
There you go, man.
What's he going to do with that Obamacare? Reckon I'm going to kill you, huh?
Well, he's going to have to stop eating French fried potatoes if, Obamacare kicks in, or else he's going to pay more.
That's right. And they said he can't drink coffee if he drinks too much. This is what Carl thinks about that.
Coffee makes me a mite nervous when I drink it.
Yeah, there you go.
I've had too much this morning. I'm shaking like a dog shitting tax.
Carl, what's so confusing about Obamacare?
I can't understand all of it.
What's bad about it?
But I reckon I understand a good deal of it.
Yeah, he's twisted, man. He's back at the asylum, and Obamacare is coming in. He doesn't know what.
I almost think they need to completely get rid of this facade of English and Spanish, because hardly anyone speaks English here, like real English. And if you take Spanish, you could take it for different countries as well. So like you could take the Mexican version of Spanish, or Spanish. It's ridiculous. So let's just call it American and Mexican.
Yeah, well, it's been again the slow progression to create our country with illegals or non-Americans, which
it's in the protocols. So
hey, what was the deal, man? We made such a big deal about tearing down the wall in Germany, and we're building our own walls.
Good. I don't know. I think we do need to build our own walls, but
I think we need to tear them down.
Well, it's just hypocritical. It's all America has, in part the demise of it, and because of the scumbags that now control it and are selling it out from underneath us, it's just become totally hypocritical. And it's not even, it's just the signs are everywhere.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure in Guatemala, if you don't have walls around your house, you're going to be attacked at night by other people. So, walls, they do serve a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me equate it with this. As far as, laws and trespassing and non-aggression and all that, let's say you lived on a corner lot and there's a trail that cuts across your front yard. And, people walk through, they take that cut through every day, That's not really trespassing. But let's say you had a hedge around your backyard and somebody climbed up a tree just to peek over at you. That they didn't cross that physical barrier, but that's trespassing still.
Right. Yeah, did you get all those, like the infrared filter that they put over the cameras in Japan? And, because you guys are talking about taking, panty pictures and all this stuff. And I said this has already been done. And they could do it without, going underneath anything because they can go through it.
Mm-hmm.
With these, filters that they have on the cameras. You could see through clearly one layer of clothes.
Yeah.
So that's trespassing as well.
Yep.
TSA trespassing, obviously with their radiation machines and.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see here. We've got
trespassing.
East Coast internet traffic. Internet users from Brooklyn to Philadelphia suffered slow to non-existent service Saturday after equipment at a New York area network hub broke down just for several hours. Now, I wasn't on my internet yesterday, so I didn't notice that there was any outage from me. A spokesman for internet service provider Level 3 Communications said technicians were working to fix the outage. Let's see, what else? Internet companies deal with equipment failures on a regular basis. Technicians usually keep spare parts nearby and can minimize the impact of replacing them by announcing the bad routes to other network operators. Yeah, man, they've got this whole thing locked down and ready to go.
We're going to pull the internet like Building 7.
Yep. It's just going to go down. And, of course, Wall Street Journal says, Alan Greenspan, what went wrong? Pretty much.
Him.
Yeah.
You're what went wrong.
There's a picture of him standing there, and he looks like an old wrinkly Woody. No.
I don't know. I remember when Upright Citizens Brigade used to make fun of him, and he was an android that they were controlling from underneath the earth, and they were going to make him change the currency from the U.S. dollar, based on oil, to just using oak leaves. And then he went off the chain, and he said he was like going to do quantitative easing 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Change oak leaves.
Do you guys keep hearing that, like when I'm talking, that you'll hear my voice stop for like a second and then come back? Because
no.
I'm hearing that with you. Like when you guys are talking, like you'll talk and then I'll hear this will disappear and then it'll come back.
Huh.
So I don't know whether it's because I initiated the call or what, but I think, obviously, there was a report just within the last a few weeks about, Skype, right? Being, monitored for, there it is again, you just hear it like I heard some fuzz, some regular, background noise, and then it stopped for a second, and then it came back. Anyway. All right, so what did Greenspan do? What went wrong? Nothing if you're asking the global banking elite, because he's just a minion of that. Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the Federal Reserve, goes to a lot of parties, right? Isn't he married to one of the anchors, one of the big NBC anchors? Yeah, here it is. Right. I should have read the friggin' next line. He and his wife, the TV journalist Andrew, and you know what? He's I don't know. This guy. Have you seen Greenspan? For the last 20 years, he's basically looked like the Crypt Keeper. I don't know how she can even get excited, even looking at that. So the TV journalist Andrew Mitchell sort of get invited everywhere, he says, sitting in front of a long bay window in his office on Connecticut Avenue in Washington. D.C. lately, through cocktails and dinners, seemed to have guest lists drawn almost exclusively from one political party or the other. So what went wrong? In the book, he he ponders why the Fed failed to predict the financial crisis. What did he say? Because it's all a lie, right? We know this. The reason for all the deregulation, the reason for all the screw up is because, I mean, how hard is it for people to understand that we are ruled and controlled by these people and they do whatever they want?
Yeah, we can't even use gold to trade amongst ourselves, and gold was seized in the Great Depression, was it not?
Yeah.
And
I mean, these aren't mistakes.
No.
These aren't mistakes. This is a destruction of, this is just, I mean, it's, what is this? What is this? The Wall Street Journal. I mean, for these jackasses to even, still consider that, you know, why the Fed failed to predict the financial crisis. I mean, are they retarded? Have they hit their head severely?
They are.
Greenspan's biggest revelation came one day about a year with gross domestic savings numbers. I guess he took a break from playing with himself. What he found, to his surprise and initial skepticism, was that an increase in entitlements has closely corresponded to a decline in the country's savings. So I guess what we do is we figure out other things. Okay, well, it must be entitlement. So if we have less people, less entitlements, then we would have been okay, right? We would have been able to avoid the financial crisis, right?
Oh, yeah.
If the Fed was to tell the true story, it'd be like a bank president calling 911 saying, "I'm robbing my bank."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And, that doesn't make sense to people. So they just go ahead and believe that these were just a bunch of bad decisions that led to one of the biggest transfers, a theft, in the disguise of one of the biggest wealth transfers, under the disguise of, we need to do this or there's going to be martial law on the street. And, the bottom line is there's already going to be. It's just going to push it and kick the can down the road. He said he is baffled by all the blame that has been piled on him. Session, critics have said the increased money supply and low interest rates during his tenure at the Fed from 87 to 2006, so we're talking a good 9 years, led to bubble investments. Mr. Greenspan first heard 2007 when John Taylor, a professor of economics at Stanford University, who has advised Republicans, made the connection between easy money and the housing bubble. It had absolutely nothing to do with the housing bubble, he says. That's ridiculous. So everybody is blaming, this was all blamed on people buying homes that they couldn't afford, right? That's what we were told at the time.
Right.
Due to all the deregulation.
I was one of those people.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, we go with the narrative. Like I had a conversation with a woman the other day at, my place of work. And, everything that I said a few things, I kind of like throw a few teasers out there to see if somebody's going to pick up on them. And like if somebody has any interest in anything that's going on politically, geopolitically, financially. I try to do that. To see if there's any, signs of life, I guess I should say. And
yeah,
she came back with something, and every single one of her replies was a media seed that planted in her head, and she said, "Excuse me for saying this, because you seem like a really, really intelligent woman." I said, "You just basically said to me what you heard on the news." And she said, "Well, I mean," I said, "No." I said, news medias are owned by the people that want to tell you this happened to keep you away from what actually happened. And so she kind of got it a little bit, but she didn't. But most of her stuff was just boom, like from a script.
These masses, I know some people that work on like the propaganda piece, from our conspiracy side of things, or our the government's bad sort of thing, anything anti-system. They're saying you have to keep it as a mantra. Mm-hmm. So any kind of message that you want to get out, Greenspan's evil, Greenspan's evil, Greenspan's evil. They need to hear it over and over, and it needs to be like a simple message. I mean, just keep it on impeach Obama, not keep it on impeach Obama and he's from Kenya. No, it's just impeach him. Yeah. And you have to keep that one single message going on. And I mean, just look at 9/11 and how many times they said, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden, Osama bin Laden. I mean,
and of course the build up from when Oliver North was, when they were they had the congressional hearings, back in, the late 80s, where they asked, Oliver North, who do you fear the most? And he said Osama bin Laden. So it was just they knew that they were going to do this. 25 years ago, they knew that this was the plan.
Yeah. Just like going back to the housing bubble, I first noticed in the early 90s. And, there was duality in it. It was to increase the money supply for one, and it was also for a future grab for assets. Yeah. So, people getting these high interest rate loans and a big bubble, a big payoff at the end of the loan, which would have been impossible for them to make anyways. So, yeah, everything's pretty much set up in advance, and they got their patsies lined up and all that, too, like you're talking about just now.
I see the whole system work because I've kind of been involved with a mortgage company. Like, I don't write mortgages or anything, but I know people that do, mortgage consultants. And the way it was done on this end, everything was good. I can honestly say that I don't think that there was any, foul business going on with the people that I know. All right. But then, you start,
it's almost like economic chemotherapy, that the mortgage thing. It's not good for you.
Yeah. It was all these key organizations. You got Nationwide, you've got, and I think that the people that I know that get all these mortgages together and do all this stuff, I pretty much kind of kept it, close in. And even though there was all this deregulation going on, I think that they still pretty much kind of held to, this doesn't make sense. This person works at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And their income is this. There's no way that you're going to be able to do that. So I know that I can only imagine that there was a lot of these organizations and lenders out there that looked at the deregulation but said, yeah, that's just ridiculous. Let's and do it this way.
I kind of think one of the things that could happen very soon is that everyone is pretty much on temporary employment. They're not full-time, and it's going to give them even more free time. So if they don't start pumping out sports games of their teams, like twice a day, they're going to start to find out, how they're getting screwed and how badly they're getting screwed over. And they're going to talk about it at dinner, like George Carlin says that it didn't want to happen. But now everyone's forced to talk about it. It's normal to talk about it, I think, now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, you take the responsibility away from the bank. You take the responsibility away from the deregulation, and you blame the people. So again, not only do the people because of the bailout pay or unborn children have to pay, but it's the people's fault because they went in there and said, hey, you know, I'm a janitor at 7-Eleven and I'm buying a $300,000 home.
Right.
You know?
EBT. Yeah.
Right. And then people are just saying, oh, it's cool, man, because these documents here say that I'm allowed to give you a mortgage. We can do this. We can put you.
Detroit could still be a banging economy if they didn't want to completely destroy it.
Yeah.
Good water supply and, cheap houses and everything. It could be turned on in a second.
Right. I hear you.
Boy.
So, all right. So Greenspan is the crypt keeper, and basically another puppet, but he won't see.
I thought there was something with Hurricane Sandy where his wife said that we don't want your money or your canned goods and blankets. We want your blood and money. Do you remember something like that? I can't find it. I've been on page 3 on Google looking for this thing.
You've Googled it and not found it?
Yeah. Ashley Blast.
No cussing, Charlie.
Andrea Mitchell.
Uh-huh.
That's his wife. How was that his wife? What happened to marriage where, two people are married to each other and they have, completely different names? Where she's
but they don't want you to they don't want the link to be so obvious, like the banker and the media. The bank's owning the media. They don't want that blatant.
It's pretty obvious to me. Just look at the nose.
Exactly.
Look at the hair roots and, freaking everything's dyed and artificial and God, Chris Krispy Kreme. I hope I don't see his fat ass debating people.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sec, I got to take my insulin shot. I'm going to pass out right now in the middle of the debate.
How I read one time, it was like, and then I got to made a joke out of it. And I said, Chris, come on now. I said, Chris Christie, he cut the New Jersey's budget in half. And I said, do you want to know how? They're like, yeah, how? And I said, he ate South. Oh,
he ate South Jersey.
He ate South Jersey. That's how he cut it in half. Nobody there. You don't need to do anything. No more money needs to go there. It's gone. He ate it.
Right, Pac-Man.
Mm-hmm. So there's that.
Do you think he's got a concealed carry insulin shot? Invisible from the naked eye, but he could pull it out and shoot himself anytime he needs to.
I think that if he did have diabetes or something, they would have said something.
He's definitely got diabetes,
right?
And stage 1 or 2, pick one. There's no way that guy doesn't have diabetes.
All right, man.
I heard when he was looking at all the damage in Jersey, he's like, "Oh man, I used to eat sandwiches over there, and that place is a pizza place, and we need to get this place rebuilt so I can frickin' eat this stuff again."
That's right, man. He's a creature of habit.
Yeah.
And that habit is eating.
Since when does New Jersey get hurricanes too? Seriously.
Yeah, it's something that that we're gonna be. Even Al Gore, I think he's made some more of his. Here it is. Gore says U.S. likely to beat inadequate carbon target. The U.S. will probably beat its own gas emissions as the cost of wind and solar power fall and coal becomes inviable.
Well, they've destroyed the country so much that we don't produce the same amount of carbon as we used to because everyone's out of work and all the factories are shut down. So there you go. We're already number one in saving the earth because no one's working here. We did it.
Yay. So I'm watching. I woke up yesterday morning watching Fox Business because there's a few people on there that I like. I don't know if you guys know who Don Imus is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, who doesn't?
He's got a program on Fox Business. He does like a live, and he's an older guy now. I think he had prostate cancer or something like that. But I watched the show in the morning, and it's actually pretty funny. I was sitting there and I tuned in, and Lou Dobbs is on there, a guy who I thought was really, really, at one time, he was on Jones Corporation, and but he's on there, him and this woman that works there, one of his staff or whatever, getting a flu shot by the Siegel, Dr. Siegel, and they're just sitting there, and he's rolling them up and stuff, and then it was weird. Like I'm looking at it, I'm like, did he actually really give that? And I don't know, it was just.
Yeah, he probably did. It's an RFID chip. It'll make him explode. It's just like a bunch of cesium that they, put in him. And when they want to, they're going to release it from the capsule. It'll hit the water and explode.
I'm pretty sure that's probably accurate, even though it's kind of science fiction-y. But anything's possible now. I mean, whatever's in those shots. Yeah. And then what what did Siegel say? He said, you might have some 24 hours, but you cannot get the flu from the flu shot.
Oh, I hope Steven Seagal comes and just snaps his neck.
No, man. You can't get the flu from the flu shot. I mean, and this guy's a doctor, and he's on, and he's saying it to all these people. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then, you also can get.
I want to have them removed. I got warts in my everywhere. They're awful. And they're silly looking.
You can get warts from the flu shot, evidently, as well. So, yeah. So Gore, pile, and of course we have the United Nations said combined global carbon targets are less than half what's needed to curb the temperature. I mean, these people are never, ever, ever going to give up on this climate stuff, man.
No, that UN needs to be destroyed.
They are completely
disbanded completely.
One page that I like to frequent is climatedepot.com. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. But, UN climate report goes bust. Even media fails to promote, right? Top scientists, including IPCC, condemn IPCC murder of science, absurd, political, wrong, dogmatic, propaganda, a grossest misrepresentation of data. And an article like that make a bad, give Al Gore a bad day. So that's over at Climate Depot here.
I found something from Nigel Farage. Do you remember him?
Yeah. He's one of the politicians over in England, right?
Yeah, this is
the
video I just posted. He's blasting apparently all global warming. That I apparently met one of his relatives. I saw Farage and I was like, that's that weird last name. I was like, Nigel? And he said, yeah, he's like, no one knows about Nigel Farage here. I was like, I do. I pay attention to stuff.
Oh yeah. Mostly I wouldn't, I wouldn't know who he was unless it was, he was, with Jones having conversations with him. So.
He was on Jones?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Here's a.
And now the EFD and Mr. Farage.
Well, Mr. Barroso, not just you, but the entire unelected government of Europe, and a chance perhaps for our citizens to reflect on where the real power lies in this union. I've listened to you for nearly 10 years. Full marks for consistency. Your ideology, you probably picked it up when you were a communist or Maoist or whatever you were. And for the last 10 years, you've pursued Eurofederalism combined with an increasing green obsession. And yeah, it's been good for bureaucrats, for big businessmen, for landowners. It's not been a bad decade. It's been a disaster for poor people, unemployed people, and those on low wages. The euro, which you believed would give us monetary stability, has done the very opposite. It was a misconstruction from the start, and it's pretty clear that youth unemployment at nearly 50% across the Mediterranean is probably nearly done as a direct result of the misconstruction that is the euro. They're in the wrong currency, but I know that you'll never ever admit to that, and the euro, I think, will die a very slow and painful death. But you're all in denial about that. But that I find really more interesting. You keep telling us that climate change is top priority, and you've been greeted with almost hysteria in this place over the last 10 years. Well, those of us that have been sceptical about this have been mocked, derided, called deniers. We've argued from the start that the science wasn't settled, and we've argued very strongly that the measures we're taking to combat what are damaging our citizens, and we've been proved to be right. Tens of millions forced into fuel poverty, manufacturing industry being driven away because, of course, our competitors in China and in America are going for cheap fossil alternatives, and, of course, wind turbines blighting the landscapes and seascapes of Europe. And still today, you go on about green growth. Well, the consensus is broken. You know, Commissioner Tajani the other day said that actually we face a systematic industrial massacre. It is time to stop this stupidity and to help you. There's the NASA photograph last August of the ice cap, the northern ice caps. And there is the NASA photograph this year of the ice caps. It is increased by 60%. Leading American scientists are now saying we are going into a period of between 15 and 30 years of global cooling. We may have made one of the biggest, stupidest collective mistakes in history by getting so worried about global warming. You can reverse this in the next 7 or 8 months. You can bring down this. If you don't, they'll vote on it in the European elections of next year.
Yeah, definitely a guy that has made a lot of headway over there. Get excited, getting a chill up my leg over Nigel Farage and his ability to speak the truth. Another guy is that George Galloway, man. I can't seem to get enough of that George Galloway, man. He to me seems to be with a really awesome amount of integrity. And see if we can't pull up anything, find out what George is up to, because it's always good to hear him talk about anything at all, because he always does it with such passion and courage too.
I think when we talk about a couple, real strong points, the news has to come around to it, and it'll start to get leaked on mainstream news. And I think I've been seeing that as I've been around the conspiracy movement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll start to talk in little ways about what we're talking in major ways, here, because they can't hide it. The internet's still on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they that's the thing. I mean, once they get overwhelmed, and then they have to cover a story, and I think that's that's or is we got it like Payday says, you've got to kill the fake news.
Yeah.
You've got to kill the fake news. They are, they're just criminal. I mean, I had a guy, there's a guy here that works locally for NBC 10 who's following me, Cult Reality, at Cult Reality News on Twitter. And this is a guy that's on in the morning, that fills in and does some things. So there's people in the media that are looking outside. They're looking outside at others. It's just a lie. And
did I tell you what happened last week? While I was on your show, Coast to Coast added me as a contact on YouTube.
Right. Yes, that's right. We were talking after the program. Jordan was joined me for the last hour hour and 15 minutes of the program last week, and yeah, coast to coast.
Yeah.
So yeah, send some out. Get just overwhelmed. Be like, I've got energy medicine information. It's taken off, and that's that right there. Very positive transaction there.
Right.
What else we got here? We've got there's a vote George Galloway, the stuff.
They don't do too much reptilian stuff, I don't think, on Coast to Coast, do they? I mean, I've been looking at some of their stuff. They're still stuck on Bigfoot and aliens, and I mean, reptilians seem to kind of be close.
I haven't listened to too much Coast. Sorry about that. I haven't listened to too much Coast to Coast since way back when Art Bell was on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, they still have him archived, or I think he's on archive.org, and you can go and listen to millions of hours that he put out.
Now, is Art Bell still alive, or?
No, he's dead.
Okay, so, and that's when George Norrie came in.
I think.
George Norrie.
Is there any, how did Art Bell, or any,
he was taken up, they stopped by Elvis and a few others, and away they went. Picked him up.
I was just like, I thought it was a serious enough.
That's in base.
They got him. But, yeah, so I'm just always wondering when guys like that, because I mean, when you hear that Coast to Coast, the listeners that they have.
Old broadcasters never die. We just go to the archives.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that's the case with us here.
Thanks, Jules, for such a wonderful job of building an incredible network here at UCY.TV. So many awesome people here. I'm proud to be a part of it, and it really gives me hope, because I think we are making an effect. Even if we only touch, one or two people, that gets exponential, and eventually we're going to win. I just really have hope that we can overcome, even with the odds stacked against us.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys at UCY replay Oracle Broadcasting old archives? Or is that allowed?
That's probably something that Jules.
They had some. I mean,
that's
really
probably something Jules and. Yeah, I think Jules and Doug would probably have to get together on that. But that is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been listening to Lee Rogers lately, just because he's so blunt when he talks about people.
Mm-hmm.
And anything from scumbag.
Sorry to interrupt. Anon says that Art Bell went to the Philippines. I thought he died. Joe said he's not dead either.
Yeah, maybe
he says
did.
that Art Bell has a new show on now. I guess it was a round trip ticket he had there.
Right.
Post the link, Anon.
And then another Anon said Art Bell went to Thailand. So Thailand, the Philippines.
He had a young wife that looked underage. Well, they look underage till they're like 28, and then they're like 35, and then all of a sudden they're old people.
It's over.
No, I think the Filipinos held their age really well.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So come on, you guys are in chat. Pop some links in there where we can actually find out where Art Bell is.
Yeah, we need to verify your data in there. You're part of the show. You're part of the show.
Because you see why.
That's right. You see why.
Right.
What happened to this?
So someone put that Donald Duck propaganda clip on there.
I thought he was going to play it. It was 8 minutes. You
don't want to play that, I don't think.
All right.
But if any part of that propaganda is true, you can't compare Hitler to Obama because Hitler made people work and Obama makes people not work.
Right.
I don't reckon I got no reason to kill nobody.
Here it is. We've got links from Joe, HuffingtonPost.com, controversial flood Art Bell Dark Matter, and from Hecty, there's a link there on my birthday, Dark Matter, October the 15th, and Lisa in Canada has AboveTopSecret.com. So
just to return to
Dark Matter Archive at YouTube, October 15th. All right. Well, happy birthday if that's your birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thanks. This is my last year before the half-century mark.
Okay.
I never thought I'd live this long.
Exciting times.
Now you don't know what to do with yourself.
Right.
Did you pull up this video? He's got like an alien hand reaching over his neck.
Oh, what, in the chat room?
Yeah, it's at Dark Matter, October 15th. Jim Sparks, alien. Yeah, just click on that last YouTube video, and he clearly has some fingers reaching over on top.
Want to take a ride?
I don't know if that's art on there or not. Dark Matter's Archive. I'm gonna go ahead.
Just look at the left side of his neck.
Yeah,
he's got some fingers coming over there. That's
that's
weird.
his hair. He's got one of them Billy Ray Cyrus's things going on. I think.
Chair.
Oh,
chair.
That's like Michael Tsarian's bald on top, but yet he still's got the ponytail. All right, I was watching him with a friend, and he turned his head, and we both just went nuts. Just because he's bald, but he's got the ponytail coming out the back, and we're immature, so I had a good time with that.
Are you guys just breaking up on my end?
No. I just heard Jordan was like, he said something, and then there was like at least 2 or 3 seconds where there was silence, and then you started hearing him again. It was a continuation from when it wasn't like we missed any of what he said. It was just like, if he was like, I went to the store, it was like, I went, and whether it's coming from, whether it's because
I just lost it from you.
Yeah.
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, it happened to you the same way.
Yeah. So that's what I pointed out before. And I was hoping that you guys were going to hear it too, but then you eventually did. All right. So
I saw something promising in the last couple of weeks. They did road construction, 1.5 miles or 2 miles, and they did it all in 1 week on a highway here. So hopefully that kind of construction business, that's how fast they would do it in Canada too. I mean, there's a potential, very small potential, that they could turn this country around, everything works normal again. Just as fast as that. But usually, construction, I mean, that's a big racket, but they're busting up rackets right now.
Well, we've been hearing about the nukes. We've been hearing about the ones that were missing from, South Carolina. And then, we hear all the time that there's law military that are also awake and are aware of what's going on, right? So hopefully that's for real, man. Hopefully that's because, they need the military. They need a lot of these people to go along with,
Well, they're trying to replace generals right now and everything else.
Yeah, they got rid of like that.
Petraeus.
Well, no, there was
a nice quiet coup. It's been in the works for quite a long time, though. Of course.
Yeah,
I think it's already been 6.
So what they were saying is that what they thought was that these nukes would go to a specific location. They would get some that was being used would be from like Syria or something other than the United States, and that they would be able to use it, and then they could track it back to and say that we were attacked, like another false flag.
Are you serious?
But a nuclear one. That's what.
Are you serious? Oh my god.
That's what I've been hearing, and
Hey, hey, you guys watch that show Revolution?
I heard people talk about it. I know it's about when the power goes off, and
I've caught that on Hulu. So I probably have a lag on it for latest episodes. Not sure, but that's kind of interesting in predictive programming and if you start talking about some possibilities of futuristic stuff, people, that's just on TV. So I just wonder.
I'll put it this way. They have a power out EMP type scenario, right?
And then later on they nuke Atlanta and Philadelphia as a false flag operation for this. And it's kind of funny. It's like the Illuminati seal they've got going with this deal. And they come in as the saviors, representing the U.S. government and stuff. But they also have this nanobots and stuff in it. It's kind of a trip.
Yeah, like the bots. I heard the bots kind of went to AI, and they did something to kill the power. But you kill the power, whatever the scenario is. There's no internet. They don't even have to shut the internet. It's already down. So there's that. But having said that, I would like to welcome any NSA, any third party entities out there, any Mossad, any Israeli entities out there that are listening in. Try to save the world. Let's put the bankers in prison. Have a future for your a prosperous future for you and your families.
And that would be the bomb.
How much are you going to glorify someone who makes 10 million more dollars than you a year or more? They're getting up to trillions, I'm sure, with some of them.
Right.
I know last night when they got on the subject of DNA and DNA markers and all that, and to my knowledge, only a couple people's DNA has been totally sequenced, and one of them's Ozzy Osbourne, and the other was a doctor did himself that was kind of in charge of the DNA project.
Right.
But, so without it being sequenced fully, and there was all the news about, I don't know if it was NASA or the WHO or who it was, but they were, offering to all these grants. If you can sequence DNA in 20 minutes, then, we'll make a mint off of you, sort of a thing. But it hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And with these genealogy records, I don't know how it can be accurate when our archaeology is not even accurate. And that's why Graham Hancock's work is so important,
Who's Graham Hancock?
He's forbidden archaeology. So the idea is that you can't dig past 5,000 years old or 6,000 years ago or something, where there's Solutrean, French, Indian arrow points that are in the U.S. that have been found, and they're at a completely different point than what most of the Native Americans, the quote Native Americans were using. And I'm part French, so someone said it's illegal to pick up an arrowhead, and I'd come back unless it was a Solutrean, and then for me, it's legal for me to pick that up and own that because that's part of my ancestry.
What a trip, dude! You was talking about that last night, and then last night I dreamed I found an arrowhead. But the point is the ones you're talking about older than the Clovis?
Oh, the Clovis is it? Yeah, the Clovis is it. But yeah, they were calling it Solutrean or Clovis Point. But yeah, that's the same thing where it's a forbidden archaeology. And Vikings were over here as well, and
they found in some caves in Arizona. They found what was it? I think it was some swords, some Roman stuff there, and they even had carvings, etched into it of dragons or dinosaurs. I should say, not dragons, but dinosaurs.
Yeah.
In the work. Yeah. Pretty neat. Yeah, there's a lot of history. The mounds and everything here. I read this book years and years ago about Fusang, the land of Fusang, and anyways, it had a couple of different expeditions that came over here and settled the Americas from Asian conglomerate, some different regions there in the Southeast Asia and China, Japan, and so forth. And actually, the Japanese current will come around, and around past the Aleutian Islands and down the coast, and deposits right out about San Diego is where that stream kind of terminates. So even where there's some fishermen there got lost or something in the sea, they would eventually float around there. So it's if you look at the Hopis, they're like just 1% for Asian bloodlines. Very interesting histories that we really don't have.
Yeah, did you say it was on the Husseins? Because, we went in there, and one of the first things that we did was raid. Everything got raided out of their museum. All their old artifacts and stuff, they were stolen.
No, I was saying Fusang. It means land of the rising sun. It's like an old legend or whatever in the Orient.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, I don't know why we can't take all these legends and writings on the face value that they might be real. But they always try to turn it into, it just means love everybody. That there was a sword and, dragon pictured inside of this cave. It was just, they'll make it into something else. It's like, well, why is there a sword? And, they didn't have TV, right? So how did they get in their mind to paint a dragon in the inside of this cave?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you that yet.
The force is not yet strong with you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't tell you that yet.
And if they're all comets and asteroids, streaking across the sky, if that would be simpler to draw. It's just a couple lines,
Yeah.
And a ball at the end. I mean, why waste the time to construct a freaking dragon?
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they could have ate some like peyote or something and saw a lizard and man, this lizard was so big, man. It's like, how big was it? It's like, I'll draw it on this cave right here.
I mean, if you watch any of that
one-liner,
the Ancient Aliens, they always in a lot of the drawings and a lot of the pictures that they made, there was always something flying in the sky that looked like a spaceship.
Yeah.
I like how they put the little antennas on top of the bubble. Hey, my mom took a picture up and Mike knows about this, Salt Lake at Dinosaur National Monument, right? But anyways, a petroglyph of a dinosaur.
Mm.
Wow.
And there's like the woolly mammoths. They have accounts back in the 1700s of woolly mammoths still existing in the West. So,
yes.
Yes.
When we get those timber wolves in here, that'll be good enough. That'd be like the new Siberian or saber-toothed tiger here.
Mm-hmm.
People don't seem to be aware of them, and the coyotes are moving in, but the coyotes don't get to 200 pounds and just bite
that
through.
Would be a big coyote.
So, let's see. We've got, again, at Climate Depot, that's a really good spot to keep track of what's really going on in the world and what the latest lies are. I was talking about...
You can go to Chemtrail Climate Depot and pick up some chemtrailing supplies and make it rain in your garden if you want.
That's right. You can create your own dark cloud and then tell everybody, look, I got this dark cloud in my life. It's following me.
So I need some red blood cell materials. Aisle 17.
Yeah, those, we were talking about that last week, right? The red rain in, where was it? The Sri Lanka.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they looked at it, they were like cells, right?
Yeah.
Were they like mycoplasms or something? I forget.
They were some kind of life form that they didn't understand and, wasn't native or natural, and I don't know.
And they think it may have come from outer space. But then again,
it could. I mean, because we send... That's the whole Andromeda strain where, you send these non-disinfected satellites up with bacteria on them and other, possible life forms, single-cell organisms and all this stuff into space, which would mutate them. And then we bring them right back here like nothing ever happened. But we brought back an organism that needed to adapt itself for space life, and we bring it back here. It's a nice little pet.
To give you an idea of some of these politicians that actually do and have said some really, really good, profound things in the past, like Bernie Sanders. He's done some things that were pro-Constitution. A global warming
but if you look
dangerous than Al-Qaeda.
Yeah. So I'm just going to type in B. Sanders and get Barry Sanders, though.
Mm-hmm. Senator Sanders blames hypercapitalism for inaction on global warming and says global warming more dangerous than Al-Qaeda. That's not forget Al-Qaeda, according to the Senate's only openly socialist member. The country's main national security threat is global warming. In fact, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders told Playboy magazine that he just reads the articles. Playboy magazine that climate change is a bigger threat to the U.S. than Al-Qaeda. Sanders is an independent who caucuses with Democrats and is partial to Miss November. Sanders blames hypercapitalism for the inaction. He quote says, "You have the entire scientific community saying we have to be very aggressive," which is another misconception and a lie, in cutting greenhouse gas emissions, Sanders said. Yet you're seeing the heads of coal companies and oil companies willing to sacrifice the well-being, saying that, it's just all hypocritical, like I said before. Like, this guy will say, oh, we got to do these things for the economy and we have to build the economy up. But addressing this climate change, global warming, whatever, will and has been already, discussed and war planned, that it will destroy our economy.
Yeah.
It'll destroy our economy. So
it has, and our economy's horrible.
Bernie says, I'm an open socialist, and I do. It's a very nice occasion, I might add.
He's not a socialist. He's a capitalist himself. I mean, he's in the Senate, and he's taking payoffs from, all these organizations.
Jordan, he's whatever they want him to be.
Yeah.
He's a hellwet. Los Angeles Times endorses censorship with ban on letters from climate skeptics. I mean, there's just more than enough evidence showing this stuff, but we're talking about very, very powerful people here. We know it. We're talking about life on the planet.
Yeah.
And of course have themselves thrive, But would they really actually do something that would get them to live underground or in a lot of these fortresses, the seed vaults? What was that? Ventura had that one episode about the Ozarks. Where
there's seed vaults all over the place, as I understand it. Like, because a lot of these hippies and this baby boom generation, if they weren't totally brainwashed, saw all this stuff coming. And I've known people that have told me, it's like, oh yeah, we packed away all our seeds and everything 40 years ago, and have been doing it since then. So I mean, there's more than one seed vault.
Right? Yeah. There's no doubt. I mean,
that's a good thing. I mean, these seed vaults are really good things when you got Monsanto planting their shit all over the place. And when they cut the corn, I know if you're anywhere around that, you want to be underground when they're cutting the corn and the soybeans, because that dust will screw you up worse than, a cigarette ever could.
Worse than eating the food.
Yeah. Because you breathe it in, it's the particulates.
Right. Wow.
And yeah, I know people that when corn's getting cut, the Zyto's saying they need lung support.
Right.
So, yeah, and I trust that thing.
Right. Zyto. Reminds me, I'm probably gonna have you at some point within the next week or so. I'm requesting another Zyto session, so
Yeah, no problem.
Let me know. I want to get once I get over this, once I try to get fully over this cold, then I'll, or maybe that's the best time to do it or now.
It is. I mean, if you want to get a look at what's making you sick, you gotta, hook yourself up as you're sick, because whatever bacteria that's doing it to you and the toxins that you can't eliminate will show up at this time. But when you're not sick, they might not.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So definitely, why don't we shoot for something like maybe like Tuesday night or something?
Yeah, sounds good.
Just let me know. Yeah.
Yeah, and I should be getting that experimenter kit. I don't know if they're sending it assembled or apart, and hopefully I have to reassemble it, and I can make a video of that. And it's that kit that is going to cost as much as an iPhone. So now if people say they can't afford it, they're lying. But it should be a good little unit. It goes up to 30,000 hertz. There's 4 screws and 4 zip ties that you need to secure to assemble the thing, so it's not.
This is the poor man's Rife.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it has looked good. You sent me a couple pictures of it, so that's awesome.
Yeah, they plasma burnt all the edges, so it looks like it's in a glass case.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice.
Royal Rife is pretty fantastic technology going back into the early part of the last century.
Yeah.
So I mean, stuff exists that
early to mid.
The world should have been changed long ago.
Yep. Yeah. Every time I have to fill my car up with gasoline, I get pissed off. I want SSRIs every time I do it. Because they have the water powered car thing too. I think is right in there with one of those technologies that has been suppressed over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, there's a Frenchman, Priore, that did Rife-type work with more Tesla-type waves in France, and the Russians did a whole hell of a lot and still are.
Yep.
But, any research in this country that's Rife-like now, it's still being done, but it's being done for food. So they'll do like food bacterial remediation of these foods while they're still in packages, and they'll clean them up with PEMFs. And they do some of the stuff with animals, but any of the good stuff, people don't get a chance to experience it.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Kind of subject you touched on a little earlier, Drew, and what my guest last week, Rocky, and he's gonna come to the first hour this next Thursday in energy medicine and basic metaphysics and finding your center. Or your chi, getting balanced and getting in tune with that. So we have a bit of a power ourselves to find that. But when you couple that with the actual technology, I think we could really go a long ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Drew, thanks for having me on. I'm going to jump out, and I love your show, man. You're awesome. You're incredibly creative and funny, and just really enjoy listening to you. And thanks for having me be a part.
Oh, hey, thank you so much. I'm running, this week I'm running on empty. So, you really, both of you, your kind words. I like to do a lot of stuff. Hopefully in the, coming, weeks and months, we all get better at what we're doing. So hopefully I'll can put on an even better show and more, just more of everything, a little more of everything.
Right on. I'd like to remind everybody too to stay tuned for Canary Chronicles with Dinah Everett too. Hey, love and peace, y'all. Big Co.
Yep. Take care, Vince. All right, so we're running down the final minutes here of the program today. Let's see what's going on over at where was that? Yeah, I was talking about the statin drugs earlier.
Yeah, did you see that last user experience / testimonial that was thrown up? The guy is on HRT, and I think what happened is that a lot of that got activated when he did the plasma. So instead of running 3 miles, you run 6. I mean, you got to play it. If we got time. It's only a 3-minute testimonial. If you want, up to you. It's your show.
What is it in the chat room right now?
Yeah, I'll post it. There it is.
All right, let's go with this. Here we go. Okay, so here it is.
You've only done, this is your third this time, right?
Yeah.
So you've done just, well, what happened the first time?
First time I had my hand on the...
Oh, it's not here.
Yeah.
The Zyto.
Had the light on and my hand on the Zyto. Was here for about an hour. We ran the machine to see what was going on, and I started feeling, stuff in my stomach, feeling stuff in my head. Started to get, I knew something was working. I could feel something, like a buzzing feeling, a warm sensation in my stomach. At the end of the session, when I got unhooked, took my hand off and stuff, I immediately had energy, felt good. I remember walking out saying to you, man, I really feel good. I feel like alive.
Yeah.
Went home, ran 6 miles. I normally run about 3 miles on a daily basis, but had energy. Ran an extra 3. Went to the gym. Lifted. I did chest and back that day. Had some really good lifts. 30 pounds to the bench that I normally wouldn't do. I mean, I felt great that whole day until I went home, until I went home, went to bed. The second time I came, you did the water for me, and the same thing with the light and the Zyto. Felt great again. I left here, a lot of energy, just brain fog went away. More clear mind. Just last night, I had my last bottle of water. I was up duty. I went 26-2, one of the best I've ever gone. Just the clear mind, a lot more energy.
Yeah, I run brain healing when I play that.
Yeah,
it helps. I can tell when I'm doing it and when I'm not doing it.
I noticed a big improvement on everything. Mainly definitely the energy, the brain fog. It's while I'm on this and for the rest of the day.
And you do, you're on a good diet. And
I'm gluten-free,
dairy-free.
I'm pretty healthy, all organic.
Yeah, I just think this is an extra just piece that some people
I can think of. I'm the chelation. I'm doing these UV2s, and I've done everything that you can, probiotics, antibiotic treatment, IV, orally, and this.
All right, still about a little bit less than a minute there. We're running out of time here on the program.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming in and helping out. And it's always good to have you on, and it's even better to have extra people on the program when just it's better than I was days before. But
round tables rule.
Yeah, absolutely. So thanks everybody out there in the chat room. Stay tuned, like Vince said, for the Canary Chronicles. And we'll be back next week with some more.
Protesters make the hit list soon as they start to rabble. They are nothing but fishes in the barrel. It doesn't have to be Christmas for a carol. Some decorate with ornamental decorum. Some perform Shakanar on Hanukkah and Purim. There's That's where my job come in. I am a blessing to them. Mercenary for the corporation selling weapons to them. Any potential competitor step into them. I'm authorized to knock them out and stick a GPS into them. They want to sell uranium to